What's up, world? My name is Sarah and welcome back to another episode of whatever it is that we're doing here. And misting the plants. Now, even though I need to go to the supermarket where I can get the oops, let me just show you what I got. Flinging everywhere, but we're not doing that. So, maybe we'll use, I'm kind of steering away. Oh my goodness, I'm making a mess. That I have been wanting to do for years. A really good one with I heard this everywhere. Yay! Maybe we'll use these. That's probably way too much, but all right. Oh my God, Dave. And a little insight on what we're doing. What happens is, what do you think? No luck there. And set aside. You want to, I know, living where I do. Now I want to finish off the project with the Today's video is going to be a do-it-yourself project that I have been wanting to do for years. And what I mean by that is, you know when you buy herbs from the store, they come in these little pots. I've always wondered if I could prolong the herbs, and I found out that by doing a little trick and kind of repotting them, you can actually grow your own little herb garden, and that's what we're doing today. So first of all, I actually need to get some herbs. Then I need a box, container, pots, a whole bunch of things in my head that I want to see if I can find and get and make my little herb garden, because we love using basil and thyme and sage and I don't know, a whole bunch of things. And if we could have at least a few on our shelves, that'd be kind of awesome. So let's go and see what we can find. Fingers crossed. All right, let's go. Now, even though I need to go to the supermarket where I can get the herbs, I do want to go to a craft store. Like I said, it's a do-it-yourself project, and I have a few things creatively in my mind that I want to try out. So we'll go into the craft store. Hopefully I can not buy the whole store. Oh my God, they've swept the sidewalk. This is like the first sign of spring to me, where they, oh, look at that. For me, that's the first sign of spring, but I know living where I do, winter's not over yet. I'm pretty sure. All right, we're here, let's go in. Yay! The project is moving forward. I got a few things. I still need to check out a few more things. We're on the right track, so I'm excited. No luck there, but there is one more store. Let's try that. All right, only thing left is to get the herbs, and then we can really get this party started. All right, I got the herbs. Now for the fun do-it-yourself project. We'll catch a tram to get home and then the fun will begin. All right, we're back home. I can smell the herbs out of the bag. I'll share with you what I got in a sec. But the supplies that I got from the store, let me just show you what I got. So there is a dozen of these plastic, I think they're like starter pots for plants. You could use like to start from the seeds, but we're not doing that. So anywhoosie, there's 12 of these. Then I got these individual container pots that we could slip in maybe, I don't know yet. I thought these were pretty cute. Got a spritzy bottle, not only for these, but for my plants in general. The one that we had previously broke, so I got this for spraying and misting the plants. Now, another thing I got was these wooden sticks. They're like craft sticks, kind of like what popsicles in some ice creams might come on, but a little thicker, I think. Got some black paint, a white pen, because I'm thinking that it might be cool to paint like a black strip and then have the name of the herb and then stick, you know what I mean. And then the last thing I got was this kind of like a tray that I thought that actually maybe we'll use these too, but I think the herbs all together bunched up might be cute on the tray. Give it kind of like a farmhouse vibe. I don't know why. And because there's holes in the starter pots, we need something that can catch the water, unless we use these. We might use both. I don't know. We're just gonna start the project and we're gonna go from there. Now, the first thing I wanna do is paint the wooden sticks, because that's gonna take, well, it's acrylic, so it's not gonna take that long to dry. But I want them to be dry so we can use the pen and write. So we're gonna start by painting black tips on the wooden sticks. Okay, let's lay some paper down so we can make a mess per usual. And let's see, make a little hole. Now the only thing is, how many sticks do I need? Should I just do the 12 because that's how many pots we have, and then determine how many we make according to the herbs? Okay, yeah, let's do that. 2, 4, 6. Like so. The black paint. Now this is a brush that I've used in previous videos. It's just it says 22 on it, Nature Light. I don't know what kind of, it's a painting brush that we're gonna use for this. I was actually thinking that it could be kind of cool to have the paint in a jar and to dip. I don't know if that will, maybe I'll use that for a different project, but for this I'll just paint it on. Now I'm gonna grab some container or lid I can pour some of the paint on. All right, this will work perfect. All right, that's probably way too much, but that's what we got. Now, I don't want to make it perfect, so the idea is to kind of just swipe a black surface. So when I use the white pen, it's just the background. And so let's see what we can, something like that. Now, do I do it both sides or just the one? Let's do both sides. You know what? I should probably grab like a glass jar of some sort so I could have this dry standing up. There's a couple of glass jars. We'll just pop that in. And this is gonna dry relatively quick. I still wanted to start with the paint because we do want to give it a little time to dry. Oh my goodness, I'm making a mess. Let me just add a little paper to protect. All right, flinging everywhere, so a couple more. All right, they are now all painted. I'm just gonna tidy this up and we can get to the actual planting or repotting the herbs. All right, let me tell you about the herbs that I got and a little insight on what we're doing. So, you know, you can get your herbs from your local store in these plastic container and plastic wrap thingies. And the reason why they struggle to stay alive in your home is because there are more than one plants in the pot, so it doesn't really give it room to grow. Usually when you pull it out, as I will in a minute, you can see that there's a lot of roots, and if you can tell, there are several plants in the pot. Now what we want to do in order to give them the best possible environment for them to actually grow as a garden is we want to separate them from the smaller container. Actually, this is quite large, and we can use this for one of them, but anyhow. What happens is when you get it from the store and it's shoved into one of these containers, there's nowhere to go. So you water them, and it might revive them for a few days, but in the end, you're just rotting the roots and killing the plant. What I got is thyme, and I did a little research before I went out and even thought about this video. Thyme is gonna be one of those that might make it. I'm not gonna say any of them are gonna make it, but thyme is one that's super forgiving and should be relatively easy to grow. Then we have mint, which is also a very flourishing, and I'm kind of steering away the word easy because I know this is not going to be an easy project, and who knows how long they'll thrive, if they'll thrive, but it's too good not to try. So mint is one of those you can throw into your teas or like drinks and mojitos, and it should be relatively easy to grow in your garden. Then I want to share one of my favorites. This is a really good one with like roasted potatoes, and that is rosemary. This should also be relatively easy to grow. And again, this pot is bigger than what they usually come in. This is probably the size. You can see that they're a little different. So we're still gonna remove one or two from the pot and then just add this to a different pot so they have as much room to grow as possible. And the soil in this one looks better. Anyhow, now the last herb is, I heard this everywhere. This is a princess herb, so she might not stay with us too long, but I love it so much that cilantro is one of my favorite flavors in the herb family, and I use it for guacamole and salsas and other Mexican inspired cuisine, which is one of my favorites. And even though she is a princess and hard to keep alive, we're gonna give it a go, because if you don't try it, you won't make it. So now let's repot these. Let's go with the thyme first. Remove him out of this pot. Now I don't even know how many plants there are. And another thing, the people that I saw doing this project were they weren't that soft-handed. They ripped it quite vigorously apart, and that's what we're gonna do here today. Now, another thing, maybe I should start with adding some soil into our bucket. Now, if you watched my previous planting, repotting, my cuttings video, you know that I used a soil for baby plants. What's the name? Anyhow, I still have a bunch of leftover. I also have some perlite in the soil mix of mostly just the soil. And let's grab some of these. Let's see, maybe we'll put them in 4. What do you think? All right, cilantro, we're gonna move you over here. I'm just gonna rip the thyme into 4 own plants, and then we're gonna separate them. They've really intertwined, so. Now, this is the moment where if there's a lot of rotting parts or dead leaves or dead thyme or something you don't want to add to the new pot, this is where you remove that part of the plant. Just trying to loosen it up. There's our first thyme. I'm gonna pop her in and add soil. Lightly pack it and set aside. Next one. Oh, it smells so good. Got our second thyme. Perfect. And then these two, separate them. Perfect. And then the last thyme. the last time. Now, the plant has now gone from being in one small that was almost like the size of what there are now, but we divided them into 4, so there's more room to grow, and depending on how it thrives, we will repot them if and when needed. Okay, let's do mint next, and now I'm looking at the mint, and it looks like, let's take them out of the pot. Oh, see, the roots have come all out here. Let's see if we can get them out. There we go. See, that's a lot of roots in one pot, and there are, let's break this up and count how many plants we have. Technically it's 2, or wait, that's 2 here, right? Yeah, I'm gonna separate him like so, or maybe we'll just leave these 2 together. I don't want to break it too much, but maybe we'll use this pot again. So instead of being crammed up, we'll just, there we go. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, but it smells so good. Pinch the leaves off. We'll do that again later. I'm just trying to get them all back into their own pots. And a little bit of soil on this side. Perfect. And then we have this side of it. Add him into, where is this? Like this. I'm so scared that this is going to be too small from the get-go. All right. Pretty good. Now, next up, we'll do the rosemary. I think I'm gonna do the same thing with the rosemary. I'm gonna split it, and one of them can stay in this pot, and one is gonna go into one of the new ones. All right, come on. Let's see how he breaks. Yeah, you can see that there's like 2 sides, so we'll just add this guy back in here. And then I can't believe I almost did my nails yesterday. It's a good thing I didn't. Perfect. More room to grow. Now, where do I, oh, here we go. This little guy is going to live in this one. Perfect. And last but not least, we'll try and give the princess a new home as well. Now, let's see how this kind of falls apart. And did we do, how many boxes do we? 2, 4, oh yeah, there's plenty. So what we're gonna do is separate them in half first and then see. I know this kind of looks brutal, but trust me, the videos and the stuff that I read, they were not as gentle as what I am right now. So I'm just trusting that whatever I'm doing is okay. Maybe we'll put them in 2. And take some of the leaves off. You want to pinch them, not rip them. All right, first princess, and then one more princess. Perfect. Let me just clean up a little and we'll water our beautiful plants. It's already starting to look like a beautiful garden, and the smells are amazing. Now, I'm going to try and fit as many as I can in the bin tray, and then those that don't fit in the tray, I'm gonna add to these little tin pots, whatever they're called. Now, because there's 2 round pots, they obviously are not going to fit in the tin things, so we're going to start with them. That's pretty good. And these 3 can go in here. Now let's water them so they can really thrive. Now when you repot herbs, you want to put them in a pot that has the holes in the bottom. Even if you do put them in like in a container like this, you want the herbs to not rot. Like you don't want any of your plants to rot. So that's why I have now only planted in pots that have holes in the bottom, because that's how they are in the nature. Not really. Everyone has water. All right, everybody looks okay. I know it looks like they're droopy, but it's because the leaves are heavy and it's a plant. It's gonna do what it wants to do. Now, when you go to harvest, you wanna start from near the roots. And when you pluck them, you don't want to grab something and rip it. What you wanna do is use your nails or fingers to kind of snap the leaf off. Okay, this is damaged and not good, but I'm gonna take a couple of the damaged leaves that are down here off. And obviously if they're little baby leaves, you don't want to snap them. And you really just want to take care of your herbs just like you take care of any other plant. You want it to have water and light, and if you want, you can cut bigger pieces off and dry them and then crush them up and then have that, you know, like a dry herb. Mint. Oh. And the damaged leaves, they are gonna weigh down, so you wanna take them off. Now, you might be asking yourself, why didn't I get basil? Because basil is a herb that a lot of us use in making pestos or even with tomatoes, sliced tomatoes and basil. Super delicious. But basil is also a princess herb, and I was thinking that I will tackle one princess herb at a time, see how the cilantro flourishes under my care, and if cilantro does good, then maybe I will upgrade myself into some basil herbs. I do have a couple of these pots left and containers, so if this is a success on any part, I might grow more. Now I want to finish off the project with the sticks that we did. The paint is dry, and let's see what we can all right, first guy, mint. We'll do a mint one. Oops. It says to shake vigorously though. Did you know that pens like this that have the ball inside that you have to shake, you should always store horizontally and not up like this, because you want to keep the sponge inside wet. You don't want it to dry, and if you have the pen like this, it'll dry. All right, mint. Do I do it on the both sides? There it is. I think the end result is better than I even imagined. I hope this inspires you to try something like this. And if you have, I'd love to hear your experiences on how it went. What are your favorite herbs to plant and harvest and use? What recipes would you use these herbs in? And I'm so grateful that you joined me for yet again another do-it-yourself project, because these are always fun to make, and I love being creative and doing things myself. Now, obviously you can plant seeds and grow your herbs and vegetables that way as well. I've heard it's equally as hard to keep them alive that way than it is doing it this way. it really is a trial and error, and some might grow and some might flourish and some might just die on you, and that's okay. You shouldn't stress too much. I think this is a fun project you can even do with the kids. Maybe now when the weather gets warmer, you can even have it on your patio or balcony or even in your yard. Some will grow better than others. These guys are going to start out on the plant stand that we have. It's next to two big windows, so they will have a lot of light. And I'm just going to monitor and see how they react to their new environment. I'm going to hope that all of them thrive and do well. I'm super excited to try these out in our foods and drinks, because a lot of times you buy the bag, you use a little bit, and then the rest is rotten in a few days in your fridge. I'm hopefully going to prolong some of the use for these fellas here. Only time will tell. Time will tell how good we do with these. And like I said, I am going to try basil at some point, but because there's one princess in the batch, we're gonna see how well she does before we add another princess. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. You can also hit the dislike if this isn't your style of video. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you can find your way back next week. We'll have a totally different video probably. Take care now.
Skeezers.
Okay. Oh, it smells so good. Oh. Oh, dear.
Love you.
Love you.
Checking on you soon.